Hi and welcome back to Arno TV. I'm your little host Arno, coming back to you with another topical video. Well, I've not been on for a few days. I've had a very hectic work schedule and some personal things to take care of, hence juggling lots of things. It's been hard this week to come on, but I want everyone to remember the videos that I've done in the last 10 days. And I'm glad I told you all to prepare for a national lockdown, because here we are, yesterday, the 31st of October. As I sort of said in previous videos, I expected by the end of October England to be in a national lockdown, and here we are in a national lockdown. So I hope you've all been preparing for it, people. And the first thing I want to say about this national lockdown is for anybody out there that thinks that this lockdown is going to be over on the 2nd of December 2020, you're living in a fantasy world. It's not going to be over on the 2nd of December. In my opinion, we are now going to be locked down until at least January, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's March, February, March time. The whole of winter we're going to be locked down. Bet your bottom dollar on it, that's what's going to happen. I mean, if you look at what some of the things that were said when Johnson addressed the nation on Saturday, leading us, that was another thing, wasn't it? We were all led to believe that this was leaked out, and there's a leak that leaked this information out because it was all over the news that we were going into a lockdown before it was even actually announced. Don't even be fooled about that. They let this information out on purpose just to make sure that you knew we were going into a national lockdown. I mean, we've had these people like Johnson and Gove for the past fortnight on TV repeatedly saying, a second national lockdown would be a disaster. That's definitely not going to happen, and here we are. So, as I said, don't believe when I said to you recently, don't believe that they're not going to take us into a lockdown. Well, here we are, we're in it, aren't we? We're in the lockdown now. And as I was saying, anybody who thinks it's going to be over by the 2nd of December, you're living in a fantasy world. And why I say that is if you take a look at some of the things that they were saying yesterday in this address to the nation, Valence and Whitty, the statistics that they were throwing at us, they were talking about, they expect on this current trajectory that by the end of November, they were looking at between 700 and 1,000 deaths a day. Now, let's just say that happens. Let's say there are 700 deaths per day by the end of the 30th of November. Do you honestly believe on the 2nd of December you're going to be going back to work? Don't be fooled by it, because we're not. They're going to lock us down for the whole winter. So just be prepared for it, because this is what's going to happen. I mean, it is insane. These people, Johnson, Whitty, Valence, Keir Starmer, the whole lot of them, they've been pushing and pushing and pushing for these lockdowns. Now, is this the solution to COVID-19? That lock everybody down? Because it's just crackers. It is crackers. This is absolutely crackers. I mean, what damage is this going to do to the economy? What damage is this going to do to people's mental health out there? What about people that aren't getting treatment in hospitals because everything's taken up by COVID? This is absolute insanity. I mean, I work for, not a tiny business, but in the grand scheme of things, it'd be regarded as a small business. We have 13 shops up and down the country. Now, we are going to be closing on the 2nd of December, the busiest period of the year on the run up to Christmas. And this is going to be replicated for many businesses across the UK. Think about what this is going to be doing to people's jobs and livelihoods. This is insane. Insane. These people need to justify these draconian measures. And I just don't understand it, because there's nothing logical about this. Or maybe we're supposed to believe people like Klaus Schwab over at the World Economic Forum. I suggest you go have a look at what they're saying about the Great Reset. I mean, what on earth is going on here? I mean, people like Schwab are talking about the whole system of the world needs to be replaced. It's not fit for purpose. You know, seriously, go start looking into this stuff, because, you know, we have to start questioning what's going on here, because it doesn't make sense that what we're being told, that this is all about health. It's about control. I'm telling you, this has got to be about control, because there's just too many things now that just don't make sense. I mean, what on earth is going to happen to all our livelihoods in the future? I dread to think. I mean, we're looking now across Europe, and we're seeing, you know, all these anti-lockdown protests kicking off everywhere in Italy and places like that. I mean, where on earth is the world going? Because I'm personally quite worried for my job, the way that the world's going, you know, what on earth I'm going to wake up to the next day. You know, I mean, it's just crackers. It is crackers. So we're now in the lockdown, so, you know, don't say I didn't tell you so. And, you know, I'm glad I've got this platform to be able to sort of speak about things like this, because, you know, as far as I can tell, we're not getting any accurate information from these people. I mean, they've just been on, you know, Gove and Johnson and everyone have been on TV for the last 2 weeks telling us how it'd be a national disaster if we had a second lockdown. There's definitely no way we're going into a second lockdown. And here we are. We're in a second lockdown. You know, Scotland, by the way, expect them to be in a lockdown by the end of the week as well. So, you know, we can't have one part of the UK being left out from the whole UK being on lockdown, can we? I mean, this is just the way things are going, people. So, you know, I'm glad that I'm going to be here a little bit more, so I can, you know, obviously speak to you guys a bit more, because obviously from next Thursday I'm going to be at home every day, because I work for non-essential retail and we've got to shut down. So you know, I'll be on much more, and I'll be putting out more videos for you guys, because you know, it's about time we, you know, started talking about all this kind of stuff, because, you know, none of this media class really are putting it on these politicians, as far as I can see. I mean, we're seeing some now starting to ask some questions, but nowhere near enough asking serious questions to these people to justify these draconian measures that they're putting all over us. You know, I mean, where on earth all this is going to end, who knows? But, you know, we're going to be locked down for winter, people, so just prepare for it. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, I'm going to be back soon with more videos for you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. But until then, I want everybody to stay safe, get prepared for this, stay rock and roll, and I'll be back soon.